Welcome to Dear Alice, a lifestyle approach to interior design.
At Alice Lane, we understand the power of partnerships. Our goal is to help interior designers succeed with their clients, not just our own interior design teams, but everybody's. We love to warehouse. We're great at shipping. It's one of our superpowers. And if you happen to be local, we have the best muscles in the business. We've got guys that know how to hang art, that know how to position things, that are used to us changing our mind. So definitely tap into the power at Alice Lane of not only carrying great things, but being able to order things, claim things if they don't work out, and to be able to deliver them into your clients' homes. Even if you're an out-of-state member, we have amazing trade memberships. We have exclusive pricing for interior designers, home builders, developers, architects, and stagers. We also offer 25% off the J. Bennett collection with 20% off all product, spanning over 150 vendors with no minimum spend. You can apply today at alicelanehome.com. We would love to be able to serve you. Hello, everyone. Welcome to Dear Alice. Today we're talking spring.
Oh, it's here.
There's
Thank
light at
goodness.
The end of this dark, dreary, inversion-filled tunnel.
Yes, Utah is a special place for that. But you know what's fun about it is like the days where they're letting the hot air balloons or the paragliders off the mountain.
Yeah.
When it's just like those perfect days. Yeah, it's a little bit crisp. Yeah. But it's like just fresh in life and baby birds and cherry blossoms and all the things. I'm so excited.
No, you guys, I have been like looking out my windows and seeing like more birds,
Hey.
There's like a little blue jay there. My mom was even telling me, she's like, you have a great deal of magpies. Like, I had no idea. But the other day I looked out in our front yard and I swear those little pigeon-like doves, they were doves though. They were just like hanging out at the bottom of the linden tree. And I'm like, do I have doves in my linden tree? Wouldn't that be cute?
Of course you do.
That'd be really fun.
That is really cute.
Can you
happy
can you
for
imagine
you.
living somewhere where the weather is just constant all the time? Like, I feel like you'd never talk about it. I feel like we always talk about
California.
Like, I mean, like we're always like,
You're
man,
like one season.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you're just like, oh, it's always 75 here, And then we're like, oh, can't wait to get out of the cold or can't wait to get out of the heat. You know what I mean? Type of thing. It's good. It's something to look forward to. I like that.
Yeah, totally. Well, with spring here in the West, where we have 4 dominant seasons, and some of you have it too, and I would say the Midwest and,
Northeast.
in the South. Yeah, for sure. There's things that we do in the spring and there's things that we do in the fall and the summer. And so we just wanted to sort of Martha Stewart our way through this situation and talk about all the ways that we're doing our own spring refreshes.
Yes.
And I feel like each of us have different areas of our life that we're working on. So I think this should be a really fun conversation.
This will be fun. I'm excited. I'm excited to learn from you guys.
Me too.
At the feet of experts.
Yes. Very, very good. Okay. So let's all talk about how we're getting the clean reset. What are we doing? What are you doing at your house too? I've been seeing you madly going through things because you send me lots of old pictures lately.
Honey badger
Yeah.
mentality right now.
Yeah.
What we're doing is we're just like going through all the stuff that needs going through. Like we're trying to like prep. We have like this laundry room / storage room / like additional pantry area down in our basement. And I feel like when you move into a place, there are corners of that place where you kind of threw stuff. You actually don't know what's in the boxes, and there might be perishables. There might not. Something may be dead in that room. That is what I'm doing right now. Nothing's been found mummified or dead or anything, but it's been so exhilarating to kind of go through and just kind of stock my pantry area for my 40th birthday. Just events, Christmas, whatever. I wanted a second washer and dryer, and we had the room for it, and we had it plumbed, and we had it like electrician come over and hook up. And so I have 2 washers and 2 dryers. And so like that was like this
major breakthrough.
I know.
Yes.
This shining angel light of efficiency, like shining down on my laundry room. And it's so great. So I think anytime you get something new for one room, you have to clean out all the corners.
Yeah.
You have to just like make everything right. And so it's been really good because we've been able to just take inventory, go through stuff, take inventory, put all like things together and store them really like effectively. So you know what you're out of, or you know what to buy at Costco, and when you go there next. And it's been so fun. And I think when you start with a room like that, it carries on to everything. Now we're into the storage rooms to clean those out and consolidate, the boxes of stuff that you have that you keep. You probably carried it from your mom's house. It's like give Justice it's like hives right now. She hates it so much.
Yep.
But all the papers.
She talks about how it's exhilarating. I'm like, there's no greater torture in the world.
It sucks.
This is worse than a hangnail,
And it's the longest process that like isn't clean for days. And so that's super aggravating.
You've been just at it. You haven't stopped.
I haven't come up for air.
You go to work and you
tired.
go back into the cave and you go for it.
I kind of just like rummage through the
How do you stay motivated?
Like to kick around.
You just like bring a plate of nachos down there and just go for it, or what are you doing? What's the thought in your head?
I put a Camelback on and I just go to town.
I feel like I need to like try on that thought that you're having. So can you lend me one? What do you tell yourself? How do you keep it up? You have a deadline. That's it.
Deadline,
right?
Yeah, we have family coming to town in March, and so we're trying to create a guest bedroom, kind of like a modified guest bedroom. So that is part of the deadline that we are kind of under the gun. But at the same time, like we just had Christmas, the kids got a slew of all these new toys, and we actually had a party. So we took all their toys and we threw them in one of the storage rooms, and it's been so awesome, you guys. Just having dedicated, like we just have the Duplos out right now. That's what we're playing with. And it's been so fun because it's just Duplo land. And then we're going to put that away if they want to play with something else. And just like knowing what you have and getting rid of all the other stuff that you actually don't like as a parent. You're just like, that's a stupid toy. Why are we keeping it? Like donate it.
Yeah.
So I think that's also been, you get the itch once you start to like give stuff away and just like feel that liberation of like not having to like hold on to stuff.
Yeah.
Anymore. Like I want to go through that next box and be like, okay, I love this. I didn't realize I had this. Okay, let me put that in this memory box and let me throw away the rest of the stuff or shred it. Cause like, why are we holding on to this? Why is that in that box? And then unifying like all your Tupperware storage bins, whatever it looks like, and just like going into that room, be able to survey. I'm not a label maker. I'm not like that good. Like nothing's labeled, but I at least know that like what I kept for a reason. And
you can just write on the cardboard box with a pen.
Exactly.
And you can just skip out the label making process. You be your own label maker.
I know.
So that's how I am.
So I think that has been, and there's just been things like here and there. I'm just like, when we watched like the Frank Gehry masterclass, I'm like, I have like this like 3D pop-up book of Frank Gehry that Tom gave me when like I had my senior exhibit when I was graduating college. And I'm like, I have that somewhere and it's so rad. And I want to share it with the designers. And gosh, where is that mother effing book? And so I found it the other day and I was able to bring it in. So those are like the little things. I found my old portfolio from my senior exhibit.
So fun.
And I was sending you pictures of all these design boards. And I'm like, do I throw it away, Jess? Do I not? And you're like, no, keep it. Cause like your kids are going to look at that one day and be like, that's, totally cool again. So I think that's what drives it. It's just like, we're so close. Okay. We have 3 more big piles. Let's just like get it. Once it's done, it's done. And then we don't have to worry about it anymore.
Totally.
That is the motivation of just.
Yeah. It's nice having that deadline though, of knowing that somebody needs to stay in that guest bedroom. Cause then you're going to get it painted. You're going to get it, fluffed, tickled. The whole thing is going to be gorgeous.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I'm also at a transition where like, I need the bunk beds for like 2 of my boys. And I need anyway, there's like a complete overhaul this year of my growing family. That's no longer, I have 3. That's it. Grand finale. Louis done. But now I know like what those need to be. And I know what that other bedroom needs to be. So I think it's this, and I don't know if I felt this like when I knew that Louis was my last, is that like now I can move on to the next thing. I don't have to think about holding on to the baby stuff. I don't have to I can like release it into the wild and give it to somebody that needs it. And I can like move on. What is our next chapter and what do I need to focus on? Totally. And that I think is the motivation.
Suzanne, you let go of all your baby stuff every time.
Every single time.
And then you were completely shocked when you kept getting pregnant.
I know.
So you have that ability to let go of things, which is really amazing.
Yeah.
So those of you hoarders out there that don't have that ability, take inspiration from Sue Hall about the energy in her voice.
Yeah.
Because it sounds really fun.
Yeah. And there's no hope in holding it on. I don't know. Like,
yeah.
Like,
is Tom
He's a doer.
Oh, okay. Does he hold on to things or just, purging?
No, like whenever like my mom's just like, I've been holding on to this, for you someday to have. He's just like, we just want a letter from you, Judy. Like just to spill out your heart. That's what we want. I don't want that. Like,
that's awesome.
Now we're gonna have to put it in the storage unit.
Yeah,
clean that out.
That's so funny.
Yeah, that's great.
I love a memory. I love holding on to things, and I hold. Yeah. My mom is for sure organized hoarder. We'll call her. And I definitely have that in my bloodstream, and I love treasures. But right now, I'm making sure I really hold on to the things that are important, that I think will be important to me, that I'd be sad to give up. It'll be important to, my kids. But if it's something that I'm just like on the fence about, I'm like, there's a reason. Was I on the fence about it last time? I still held on to it. Yeah. Get rid of it.
Totally.
Like, it's the Marie Kondo kind of attitude. Like if it brings you joy, keep it. If it doesn't, release it into the wild. Tom, there was like this closet of clothes and I kept trying stuff on. And I'm like, what do you think? He's just like, we're moving on. Yeah, sure. There's lots of cute things in there, but we're moving on.
Yeah.
Like
one of the many things I love about Tom. That's
I know.
Awesome. Yeah.
We're moving on. I kept just like, okay, because you have to kind of like gear yourself up, and you're like, I think that how much that cost like 3-5 years ago, like it doesn't matter. Like it served its time. It's given all it has to give, and there's other things that you're going to be more excited to snag.
If you don't have a Tom in your life, you need to invite over your unemotional friend.
100%.
They can help you with this work. I have a friend, the Clay Maven. She was in my neighborhood and she would be like, can I come over and clean your pantry?
Oh, shut up.
She just has this thing where she's obsessed with cleaning out people's pantries. And I'm like, this is so nerve-wracking to me. It feels like my underwear drawer because I'm sure some things are expired in there. I don't even know. I don't cook as often as I should. And so I don't know what's in there, and every time she just gets this high out of it. And so I know that if you don't have a Tom, that you've got a Marina like I do. Yeah. And you can say, I need you to come over here and be my accountability coach because I need to get rid of stuff. And I need you to criticize me when I'm not doing it. Yeah. And I need you to help empower me to be able to do it. Ask me lots of questions about its usefulness, its worthiness, whether I still need it or if it can be let go into the wild. So somebody else can appreciate it. Yeah.
And you know what? There's nothing more gratifying than going into an organized space and seeing all your vases and all your ginger jars and everything on two shelves. That's my inventory I can shop from. And it's always been in 3 different rooms.
Yes.
And now it's in one spot.
Amazing.
So
congrats on getting there.
It's a big deal.
Yeah. That is so amazing.
So do that. And then again, once you do it in one room, it'll carry on to, it's like give a mouse a cookie. Mm-hmm. It'll keep going, but in the very best way. Yeah. And then even on your spaces that aren't cluttered, like in your living room where you have surfaces, you just want those areas to be like cleaned off and wiped down, and just like the books that are there to be intentional. Oh wait, there's a book on that. I should give that to this person. They were showing interest, and I actually don't need it anymore. I loved it. Give it to somebody else. And I don't know, it just like springboards all your other areas, and it just makes everything cleaner, which I think is the goal of spring, right?
Definitely. Cleaning. That's so great. Yeah. The closet, go through your closet. I'd say twice a year. I love giving away anything in my closet that I'm not wearing anymore.
Your lucky sister-in-law, Amanda.
Yeah. And I'll be like, you know what? I'm going to make myself, I think I don't like that. I'm going to make myself try it on this Saturday. Nope. I was right. I don't like it. It's not worth saving. And I just have a whole rod in my closet dedicated to what is in Amanda's pile next. Yeah. I love that. And on the floor under that bar is shoes, and I just start packing it in all my shopping bags that are, in my storage room, and hand off a trunk full of shopping bags to her. So fun. That's great.
That is great.
It's great. And my little girl stuff, like her little girls wear now. And I kind of want to cry because I'm like, oh, I remember when Jane wore that. And it just like, it lives on. It's really fun. Yeah. So yeah.
That's cool. Do you hold on to some of the stuff though?
I'm sure I do. It's just been a minute since I really looked into theirs. You know what I mean? I do think there's a few favorite important things that I've held on to them because they might want their future girls to have. Yeah. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Yeah. What were you going to say about Mari?
I was just going to say, she's like, she holds on to everything. There's like, she has so many, like, I feel like once a quarter we go through her stuff every couple of months. It's like, dude, you bought that in 2008, get rid of it,
Tom over.
She looks at it as like losing clothing. I look at it as like you're creating space to we can buy more stuff. You know what I mean? Like,
Totally.
yeah. So that's how I always try to look at it. I love like throwing away stuff because I'm like, oh, I can get like, you know what I mean? Like
too.
I can throw this away and then like get the new thing, you know, to replace it. So
you have to give yourself permission. And I think it kind of depends on like what order you grew up. I was like the youngest. So I think I had some scarcity mentality. So like this idea of holding on to stuff for like a little bit longer. But Tom's been you just need someone to give you permission.
Yeah.
We're giving you permission.
Yeah. That's so good.
Bounce.
I love it. Okay. So we did our closets, our storage rooms. We're making way for the new. Anything decor wise that you like to do to help manifest spring in your house, Sue? Make it feel more springy. I know it takes Utah a minute to catch on that it's spring, even though that they've officially titled it the first day of spring. We're like,
liars.
Really? Doesn't feel spring, or we're laughing as it snows. Really? It's not. This doesn't feel right, but I guess it's spring.
I think everyone has their Christmas down by now. And it feels like you lose like 100 pounds when you do that and you take all that.
I love that feeling.
You put it in a storage bin, you throw it in your basement. And then it's just like, it's blank for a little bit. But then when you're doing your spring cleaning, your surfaces are clean. And I think it's in the edit, you know, like we said, like make sure that the books that you have out on your coffee table, if you're bored of them, grab a couple new ones that like invoke some like light, beautiful, bright interiors that you're feeling right now in this season.
Yeah.
I think is a beautiful way to go about it. I was telling Jess, I when I can, I buy flowers, or Tom buys flowers. Like I'm the only girl in the house. So he's like, that's something we should like make sure we always have like a thing of fresh flowers somewhere. I'm like, I applaud. But this last weekend I took it upon myself. I'm like, oh, those flowers are dying. I'm going to grab some. And I have this like yellow Frida in the entry and she's electric yellow. And I'm like, I want to pull that out. I want to make that something because that feels like spring to me right now. And so I got all these 2 bunches of like these yellow lilies and they're opening up right now and it's magnificent. It's so, so pretty. And it's just the one type of flower and it's just lilies and like it is shouting for attention and like brightness.
Yeah. That's a really good pro tip is that when you are getting flowers for yourself, get one flower. Don't get multiple varieties. Don't get the mixed bag of flowers from Costco. I think if you just stick with one, it's a lot classier and the edit is much more beautiful.
Yeah.
There's also something kind of lovely about lilies. The smell is so amazing. And I remember for my daughter's baptism, we did white lilies on all the tables. And when they started blooming, I was just like, whenever I smell a lily now, I think of Jane being 8, you know? And so I feel like there's also real memories tied to scents and to experiences like that.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think you'll think of spring when you smell the lily or whatever. I like to make a playlist for every season.
I love this.
I think it just helps me be more present. I think when you're forecasting things that are coming, we're making product, we know it's going to be here in 6 months or it's going to be here in this. And we're just always looking forward. When's that photo shoot? When's that launch? What's coming up next? What's on the calendar for marketing? You know what I mean? We're always looking forward. And I was listening to a psychologist the other day talk about how to be present because anxiety is future focused. Depression is
real.
Past, or there's things obviously about the future, whatnot. But if we're in the present, it's like less overwhelming. So he said one of the things you can do is like rub your hands, you know, just like rub your hands, or like if I play with my hair and I'm feeling a texture, then I'm able to get more in the moment of right now. And then that anxiety about the thing that's coming up tomorrow night is like, nope, I'll handle that tomorrow. I'll cross that bridge when it's time. I don't want to feel that anxiety today and tomorrow. I just want to feel it tomorrow when it's happening. You know what I mean? And so it's like one of those things for me is if I make playlists for each of the seasons, it helps me be more in the season, you know? And so it's just like whatever music I'm feeling right now. And I can go back and listen to my playlist from fall of 2020. And I'm like, oh man, you know, that was what I was feeling then. And it brings back memories too. And it helps me remember better, but it also helps me be present. And so that's a really fun thing for spring. I'm like,
what's on your playlist this spring? What are you feeling?
Yeah. Do you do like fun, upbeat stuff?
Yeah, always.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, it's a mix of things, right? And there's like things on the radio that might come out or things that I'm remembering. Like we have a big marketing event that we're throwing tomorrow night. And so I've been making an 80s, 90s love songs playlist, because right now we're recording this podcast and it's February still in Utah. And so we're, getting ready for this big Galentine's night. So I'm doing all these fun love songs from like chick flicks and stuff like that.
So awesome.
Really just like things that all of us will know the words to, so we can like sing along and have a good time, and there's good music. You're like, that was really fun. What a fun night that was. And so I'm trying to manifest that we're all going to feel good. And we're intellectually not going to feel like we're not in the know, because we're around new people. We're like, oh yeah, I know what to do.
Familiar.
I know all of this music, and so you've always got like a song on your lips and you're meeting people and having a great time. So I don't know, music's like a really fun connector, I think. Really is. And it's like on a subliminal level sometimes, or maybe it's more on the forefront, but it's just a constant thing that's happening. And I feel like if we're missing out on something, if there's not a beat in our life, and I think it keeps us fresh. I think that's one of the things that, just I guess in full candidacy, I'm a woman that's 47, and I see people sometimes that are my same age, and they look like they're stuck in a certain era. And I want to make sure I don't ever get stuck,
I've thought about that.
And so I feel like if I'm always staying,
do a blood promise right now with you.
I know.
The same way.
Yeah. Right. Let's all
three of us, it's
poke our fingers.
Yeah.
But I want to stay inspired, and I want to keep pushing forward. And it's okay if my face looks old, but inside I want to continue to be, to stay fresh and to stay new and to try new things and not to get caught in a rut, and to try different clothes and to stay up with certain fashions. And do you know what I mean?
Love that.
Buy a different car. And you know what I mean? I just really don't want to get stuck in a rut. And so, I constantly challenge myself to like, that would be really comfortable for me. Like I did indeed buy my same car I had last time in a different color. I did not, though, buy the same color. But next time, I'm like, I need to get an electric car next time, because that is changing with the times. And so I feel that need to just stay current. Yeah, totally. And I have a guy that works on my body. I have a frozen shoulder. And it's like people start to say that they feel old because they stop moving. And that's what makes them feel old, is your body kind of starts to get creaky, and things are stiff, and you're not stretching, you're not moving through things. And then they're like, oh, well, I just feel this way because I'm getting older. This is how you feel when you get older. And he's like, no. You get older when you stop moving. And so I'm like, I got to move. Yeah. And now that it's spring, it's a great time to just like get out, move your body, feel like you're young, listen to new music, try new things, keep up with fashion trends. I mean, what fits your body. But you know what I mean? Try that different denim wash that looks really good right now. I feel like sneakers are really, they're a really lovely thing right now for men and women. We were just talking about this. I feel like men and women are both wearing like white crew socks with their pants. I even see like the boys at church wearing white socks with their dark dress pants and their dark shoes. Cute. It's kind of like Elvis, It's like this really fresh take. White tennis shoes, I think, are still a thing with gum soles. Lug soles are back again. We grew up with Doc Martens. It's all back again. Lug soles on loafers, all of that. So I just think like staying current with it. I think Iris Apfel is a really, really inspiring person for both of us.
Yeah. And it's just because she never stops. Like she's so into her self-expression that's why she gets up in the morning, Yeah. Anyway, it's apparent, and that's why she's an icon. Yeah. It's just so fun to look at how she puts something together. It's not that it's all luxury. It's flea markets. It's thrifting, all these different things. But she's such an individual that she's just figured out her look, and she keeps it fresh. Yeah. Keeps it fresh. It's good. It's an inspiration to all of us at all ages. And so it doesn't have to be an age thing. It can be a you thing, your own personal style. And you can be super curious about what that is and just trying new things, putting it on, even though you don't think it looks like you, bring it in the dressing room. You know what I mean? Like just try things and find the next version of you, the center part in the hair has been a thing for girls for a little while. And I was listening to a hairdresser that does celebrities' hair for the Grammys. And everybody was commenting on how amazing J-Lo looked at the Grammys. And he was like, we had her hair up. And then midway through the night, we took her hair down and I gave her that center part. And everybody thinks
oh my gosh, they look so youthful with the center part in their hair. Mm-hmm. And it's just interesting, even the way that you're combing your hair, parting your hair can be current, right? Or make you feel younger or different or nostalgic. And it's just another way of keeping yourself fresh and trying new things alive. So that you don't get stuck. Yeah. So I don't know. It's something that I'm always trying for. So I really do love switching things up in the house. I definitely take some of those heavier feeling winter pillows down and I bring up, the brighter, fresh ones that just give me a feeling in my house, which is great. I light a spring candle in a few different spaces.
What's your favorite candle right now?
Gosh, that's a really good question.
What are you looking for?
There's a Trudon candle that I love, and it is in a yellow box, and they all have these French elaborate names. But it's the white candle with the white label on it.
It's hypnotic,
right?
And it carries so beautifully. You have it in the product development room, and every time I even walk down the hallway, I'm just like, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Continue.
So good. I have it. I have it at home too. I think having a fresh diffuser in your car also that smells really great. So when you get in there, you're just like, love it. Even if it needs to be cleaned, it still smells amazing. Yep. So you can get a new perfume. I think that's another way of staying fresh. Yeah. Smelling good, right? That can be your thing. It's easy for everybody. Just like, don't be afraid to try new things. And you have like a couple different scents depending on your vibe. You can be light and fresh and airy and Santal 33, or you could be more of like a mood. I used to wear Black Orchid by Tom Ford.
So good.
It's discontinued now, but do you know what I mean? Like
Gucci
that's more.
Florals are fun. I got some for
Gucci
Christmas.
florals. Yeah. Yeah.
It feels like spring because it's like jasmine.
Yeah. And I think
Beautiful.
That's like great. Like put on your light and springy flowers or scents. I think that's really lovely. Just like everything lighter, fresher, buying the flowers, like you said, Sue, once your yard starts sprouting, I think you start foraging and bringing those branches inside. That gives you such a feeling. So good. This podcast is supported by Cozy Earth. Swapping out bedding to suit the weather is a giant hassle. Just one more reason why I love my Cozy Earth bedding. It keeps me cozy and comfortable all year round. I don't get too hot in the summer. I don't get too cold in the winter. My husband and I sleep different temperatures. We're both comfortable. There's finally peace in the land.
And we live in Utah where we have like really distinctive seasons too. So like we're going from summer, like hot summers to cold winters. And I'm comfortable all year round with those sheets.
Yeah. Yeah, it's amazing. It's made out of only the finest premium viscose, which is highly sustainable bamboo. And it's no wonder why all the top designers are choosing Cozy Earth. Their bedding is naturally temperature regulating, so you're comfy all year round. And it's one of Oprah's favorite things 5 years in a row, which speaks volumes, I think. So
it's the best gift too. I can't imagine a better gift. If you don't know what to get somebody, get them Cozy Earth.
Yeah. The sweatshirt's amazing. Yeah. The sweats are amazing. The socks are amazing. Yeah. So comfy.
Can't go wrong.
And there's like a silky, drapey hand to them that's different than like terry or fleece. You know what I mean?
And it's a weight too that just kind of drapes on your body like good window panels.
You look luxurious in it and feel it. Yeah, it's so good. If you guys want to save 35% off now on Cozy Earth, this offer is going to end soon. So go to cozyearth.com/Dear Alice and be sure to enter Dear Alice at checkout to save 35%. That's cozyearth.com/Dear Alice. You had a note. Yeah.
I always like in the spring and the fall, I usually get like windows cleaned. Just because like your sprinkler, once your sprinklers are off for the winter, you get your windows clean. Mm-hmm. And like before you're about to like get everything going, like you just want to have like clear view out your window when you open them up because it is such a nice day and people are walking outside. So get scheduled to get a window clean. And then also like upholstery cleaning. I think that is, and you can just grab somebody that does carpet cleaning at the same time that does upholstery cleaning because it's likely that something is spilled over the fall winter season. From all the
dirty
good times
shoes
you had, right?
Yeah.
And so usually get that scheduled.
There are some fabrics. So depending upon where you bought the sofa, they'll have like grades of fabrics that can be washed in a washing machine. Ours is one of those. So we we do it every couple of months because we have little kids that just like to spill everything everywhere. But yeah, we just take the covers off and just put them in the wash and hang dry them. And
doesn't it feel so good
Pull
to put
them
it
back
back
on?
on?
So
Like,
fresh.
I have a new sofa.
They fit a little bit tighter too in the fill, so it doesn't look as like
Brand new sofa.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like
And
Botox
just
for
save
your
a bunch of money.
furniture, guys.
Exactly.
It is.
I know.
Yeah,
It's got
that feels
injections.
great.
No, it feels so good. And just like knowing that it's clean, you know, that there's like not like old milk from bottles like that is spilled or anything like that. You know, you know
Kids.
what I mean?
Yeah.
People are all
Kids,
like,
right?
you're like,
Yeah,
do I
sure.
smell? Am I that person that smells and don't know it? It just smells like home to me, but really, I just need to clean up my act.
I know, totally.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's just back to the spring cleaning. And
I love it.
Really, really good.
That's great. The yard is a big one on here. What do you guys do with your yard in the spring?
I am a novice at this.
Do tell.
Yes, but last year I used preen
Okay.
in the spring.
I was like, how do you spell that?
and then in the fall, I was telling you about it the other day. And game changer. Because you remember when Jeremy was on our podcast?
Yeah.
I've re-listened to that since.
Guys, re-listen to the podcast.
What's his last
with
name?
Jeremy Fillmore.
With Northland Design.
Yeah,
it was
he's
so
a
great.
landscape architect, and he's just a brilliant mind. And we can all just learn from him and employ those tricks, and we will be better for it in our yards.
Yes. So I asked him in that what ground or like weed barrier he uses. He's like, just get down there and weed it. And I was like, oh, it's like the bane of my existence. But I use preen, which is just a mineral you put in your beds. And probably 95% of the weeds I had from the year before were like never sprouted.
Shut up.
It was
So wait, is it
amazing.
something you screw on your hose and then you spray?
No,
or?
it's just like a bucket and you just go around and just shake it like in your beds and it just kind of like, it's like little rocks.
Put on your playlist and do a dance, dude.
There you go.
Oh my
Yeah.
gosh, I could
Your
clog it out.
Man.
Yeah.
Good
Spring
time
Jess.
is like March, April, maybe even early May, just before stuff starts germinating in the ground because that's when it stops. It's if
But
the
it
seeds are
won't
down there.
ruin your current plantings.
Nope.
Great.
Yeah.
You guys,
So-
Why did I not pay attention? Probably because I'm like, that's Adam's job.
yeah.
Yeah.
But that's something I did last year and it was awesome.
Game changer.
Yes. We also did a garden last year
nice.
and we
Vegetable
did
garden, flower garden.
vegetable. Yeah.
Lovely.
And another thing that Jeremy said, we just kind of like put it in with like our beds.
In your beds. Yeah.
So we had like Grady pick out an herb. So he picked rosemary and these are all things that we use.
so
like,
good.
so this last year we had 2 tomato plants. We're like, we'll start with 2. We're not huge tomato people, but we actually, all the leftover tomatoes we had in fall, we turned them into sauce and then bagged them and then froze them. And we
Nice.
ran out like in February.
Wow.
Sauce.
You loved it.
Yeah. So we do like spaghetti or
tastes
pizza.
so good.
And it's amazing.
So good.
So now we're like, hey, we're like game planning, like where we're going to put what
Like,
this
let's
season.
make ketchup this year.
Yeah.
Sauces.
But we're
For
like,
days.
we're going to do 3 tomato plants this next time. Yeah.
Crazy.
So
Congrats on figuring out a garden and making your own food.
exactly. Yeah.
That's amazing.
So I would say just plotting your garden,
Yeah.
what you want to grow, what you're
great.
going to eat.
It adds a really nice texture and variety too to your landscape to have like tomatoes or rosemary or whatever. I have mint in a section. Actually, I have mint in its own pot because
Love mint.
that stuff's aggressive and you don't want it mixing it with your other stuff. But yeah.
I love mint. There's this like place called Hell's Backbone Grill in Utah that's like in the scenic route drive. And I remember when we went to go eat there and I'm just like, what am I smelling? And they just had like these bud vases just like filled with mint at the dinner table. So like, just give yourself that opportunity.
You could do that for
amazing.
yourself all summer.
It's
Put it on your
gorgeous.
kitchen table.
I know.
I
it's
never knew
so
that.
beautiful.
Yeah.
Hell's Backbone. You can have it in your own home.
What?
Dude, it's fantastic.
My brain just blew up. I'm totally
know.
going to do that.
I know. And does anybody else feel I have like, we did some plantings last fall and I'm so anxious about it. I'm just like, did they survive the freeze? Did they like, are they going to bloom? We did this like espalier, the apple
That's
tree
so beautiful.
against the wall. And I'm just like crossing my fingers that like that comes back to life. Like once like stuff starts to sprout and become green.
Yeah.
I've never planted bulbs. So I planted a bunch of bulbs just in this little side garden by the door. I'm so excited to see like, if I
love
totally
that.
screwed it up or if they're going to come up to play. I'm just so excited about it.
You know that feeling that you have right now?
Yeah.
We were talking to our friend Susan Habel, who's an artist, and she lives in Georgia, and she was walking us around her garden because she takes such inspiration from her garden. She said, "Oh, and you see that? That's Pete's tree." She goes, I planted Pete a tree for his birthday, and now it's this huge full-grown thing. She's Southern. That's my Southern voice. And I was like, that's seriously so cute. What if we planted trees for our people in our life?
That's
like
amazing.
You planted Mari a tree in the spring or whatever. And you're like, Mari, babe, this is your tree. Like Sue wants that tree, that espalier tree to come back so hard. What if you planted that for Tom and it was like a symbol of your love and affection? And you tell your kids, like, kids, we're going to the greenhouse. We're going to plant a tree for each of you. You choose one. And they come back when they're 25 and they're showing their fiance, like, this is my tree. When I was a kid, I planted and then in their future life, they're growing the same trees because that's his 5-year-old tree or whatever. I just think there can be so much meaning in our yards,
that's right,
and we can plant trees for our loved ones and watch them grow and be excited for when they come back, and super fun.
One thing that we did last year too is we had, if you haven't done this, I think it's fun. We planted all these like sunflowers, and then we harvested the seeds. And it was so much fun. And so now we have like just hundreds of seeds or whatever. And we just have all this land. And I'm like,
amazing.
I kind of want to like just do like a big sunflower lot, but also have we have watermelon seeds and we have gourd seeds and just kind of create these like zones of just for your kids to just like watch it grow.
Yeah.
So I'm excited.
Fun.
I'm excited for when I need to do research.
Yeah.
Like when do you actually like throw those things in the ground?
Totally.
I'm not like one that's going to baby seedlings. I don't have that time to watch them. So I'm like, when can I put them in the ground and when will they actually grow?
That's so fun. You'll be able to play Sting Fields of Gold to your sunflowers.
Do a photo shoot with you.
And do a dance. Actually, that was my favorite flower when I was a senior in high school. The scientific name for sunflower is Helianthus.
Oh, yeah.
And I was like obsessed with sunflowers. I wore a sunflower dress in my senior pictures.
Of course you did.
I sure did. Yeah. And a boy that I really liked would leave me notes under my windshield wiper at work.
That's cute.
With the sunflower. So I was a huge fan.
Okay.
Yeah.
Anyway, I'm going to bring you.
They were like trending in 1993. They were trending.
Totally.
Yeah.
For Katie's wedding flower for sure.
Totally. Yeah. She's my same grade. Yeah. So I get it. I too want my fields of gold.
But it's fascinating. Anyway, just like your yard, it's just fascinating to watch something grow. And then like sunflowers are odd because they follow the sun. And I just think that that's so magical. And it's fun it's fun for your kids to be able to experiment like that and watch something grow.
Love it. That's great.
And help it grow. So
totally. That's so great.
Not kill it.
Yes. Another thing we do, we bring out the outdoor furniture and the outdoor rugs so that we can get ready for barbecues and parties and sunsetting.
Some people just leave them out there all year. I've seen that. I have neighbors that I'm just like, hey, that's, I don't know. Yeah, I guess.
That's mostly me also. We take all the cushions off.
I think that's fine though.
And then like my outdoor table is made of concrete, so that's immovable. But we just take all the cushions in or like the dining chairs in, and then the wicker body of it stays out there. And then we bring the cushions back in the spring. Yeah. And the outdoor rug. But
it's essentially what we do too. Yeah. I just think, I don't know.
There's better things for it, but I just don't have room for an outdoor sectional in my life that's covered. Yeah. I mean, I guess if I cleaned out that storage room that Suzanne talked about, full circle, then we'd have to carry it down flights of stairs, etc.
Adam's strong like bull though. He'll be fine.
Yeah. And we're in the furniture business. So should anything happen, it's a great excuse to get a new sectional. Yeah.
No, you guys, I don't have any outdoor furniture and like, I really want to get some. So that's going to be another goal of mine this year.
Yeah.
It's to bloom where I'm planted.
Bloom where you're planted. Yep. I love it.
Buy yourself some outdoor furniture, y'all.
So great. I know like I can't remember when my sister calls the nursery. It's probably every June and they make her hanging baskets for her. And then she drives up north, up here.
She goes to the Sun River.
And she goes to the Sun River Gardens and they fill her trunk with all of her hanging baskets. And then she takes 2 of them and clips the hangers off and she puts them in her porch planters. And then she hangs the rest on the side of her house, where they just explode. You wouldn't believe by the 4th of July, it's like their own miraculous fireworks of baskets. It's amazing. Lucky. So fun. The hanging basket's so cute and Southern, but anyway.
I need to get on that game.
It's really fun.
Yeah.
My mom always does that. She always has like 4 of them like on her front porch. And then she also has her bird feeders out. And she just like analyzes the hummingbirds rotations. And anyway, it's really fun. Yeah.
That is
Things
super
are
fun.
alive and you're just inviting them back to your home. And I'm so excited.
So excited.
a
Changing
niche.
gears a little bit. So we talked a little bit about closets and cleaning out and resetting and the yard, but we have a few notes we wanted to share because I know this is always fun for people to know what's trending, what's up and coming, what's hip, what's hot, what's now. Suzanne and I and Corey were just talking about this, about what our reps, what our predictions, what we're seeing in the marketplace, what colors. Y'all don't have to fall into any of this, but it's just fun to be in the know. And you listen to a design podcast. So we're going to kind of talk about what we're feeling is on its way.
We just had a rep come and kind of remind us what was at fall market to some of the designers. And these are just like a list of things that I was taking away as I looked at the images. There's a few different trends that we're seeing. There's kind of this like, what is it? Cottage
core.
Cottage core. What is cottage core?
Such an awesome name.
I know.
Yeah. Well, you know what?
hardcore, but
To me, it feels
cottage
like very 80s. Like I see girls throwing these parties and they're wearing like flouncy white dresses. It could also be nightgowns, and they're wearing ballet flats. And they have, like if you like the brand C New York, they have dresses that look like they're made out of quilts, but they're not like backed and quilted. They're just like these quilted together fabrics. They make jackets out of them and sundresses, and it's very flouncy and super girly. And we think of slip-covered sofas in our mind, and you know that whole dressmaker detail on the chairs, rocking chairs, nostalgic, throwing some antiques in the mix. It feels a little bit more eclectic, but feminine and
Relaxed.
Yes, that's and barefoot, maybe even. Yeah.
The things I saw though, it's not just like your old chunky arm slip cover from like Pottery Barn circa like 1990.
Yeah.
They were a lot more tailored. And they would have like that skirt, but then like you said, the dressmaker detail, like the pleat was really clean, but there was this like sense of relaxation and just a little Southern, you know,
Totally.
details. And I thought it was really cute. Definitely there's clients that like fall into that or have sunrooms or things like that where they want to have that feeling.
I love the idea of it so much. We brought in slip covers. I remember in the very beginning, because it was a big thing with Mitchell Gold, Bob Williams.
Yeah.
And our territory just doesn't get into it. For some reason, they want a tightly upholstered sofa. Yeah, they don't care that there could be a sofa living under that and then a slipcover for summer.
It's like a cardigan.
I know. It's just so fun, right? I just kind
Two
of
tricks in one.
It just feels like you're watching a movie of a thing. I just really want to get into the slipcover, but our territory just will not play along.
I feel like the slipcovers then were maybe like less tailored feeling though.
Felt like
less-
canvas,
yeah.
you know?
You know what? It was like white
pretty.
denim. Yeah.
Totally. It was
So,
canvas.
so I'm looking forward to like, because I wasn't down with the slip covered sofa either, but I'm looking forward to, you know, seeing the things that come out now.
Yeah. And I think the thing, I wrote down a couple other words, like there was always like a bit of historic in the showroom, or like there was like a Venetian detail to a mirror, or like a kind of throwback to a little bit of Art Deco.
Yeah.
So having some history in your room, I think is always a good idea.
Yeah.
So if you don't have that, try and like go to an antique store, see if there's something like that's just like a lovely little end table that would look cool to next to your chair. And there's like a pulse to it when you start to mix like decades.
Yeah,
you know?
I love that. Also add some like smarts to it. You get some of the decades to it, the history.
But I feel like the tailoring was still on point. I think also like that sophisticated library, you know, there was also some like frames where you still had some of the tufting, but it was like not as deep and heavy.
Oh yeah,
but like just also good tailoring. Like it would just be in a handsome like smoking lounge.
Yeah.
A very Ralph Lauren, but also everything just had like a tailoring to it. The legs were a little bit more refined. It wasn't like a chunky block leg necessarily, but like someone had carved into it a little bit.
Yeah.
So I would say still that kind of library feel. I think you can
Dark academia.
totally dark academia, and I think you can add some of that. Also, and this I think we've seen for a while, is just like some of these engineering details, the radius. I think we're still feeling, we're talking big furniture, and we can dial into like some of the accessory moments that are easier to implement. But I think just some of the engineering details, cantilevered arms kind of floating over a sofa cushion, I think is rad. Just interesting like intersections and profiles where you have some furniture that looks like sculpture, and it's gorgeous from all all angles, like the kind of radius arm and then arm back, but then you kind of have this monokini moment where you get to see all the way through. Ray Booth has a rad chair like that.
Totally.
There's so many great designs that we're seeing with that, like curves with cutouts, shaving things away, sinuous organic shapes. And it just makes for a good conversation.
I agree.
So I think if you don't have any of that and you have like really bulky furniture, maybe take out that one big accent chair by the fireplace and plan on replacing it. Like give yourself something that has a little bit a lighter appearance.
A lot more interest from the back and the side. Yes.
Fun to sit in, but really fun to look at. So
I like that.
But yeah, and then one thing that we kept seeing was at Fall Market, moss green was all the rage for this coming spring. So just these shades of green. And I think that's just like the need, the want to introduce something fresh. And we know that pastels are in as well in fashion.
Pastels, pastel brights, and sheers. I feel like sheer, like a sheer bomber jacket over a tank top or a dress, or we just keep seeing these sheer details, sheer layers in clothing that, it's interesting, the transparency and then the layers of things and the textures that all come out to play. So
light moves through it.
Yeah, it's super fun, really artistic, and just some fun things to look forward to. Yeah, so if you have that moss green sofa, maybe rethink recovering it quite yet. You might see it come back.
Yep. Give it a fresh take with some new pillows, guys.
What about wood tones or finishes? Did you see?
Wood tones, I think that the white oak has definitely been a trend. Obviously, it's gone up in price too, like with new builds and things. So we are doing more medium tone. I think that's always been in play. I don't think that I've ever left Alice Lane. I think that's something we've always believed in from the very beginning. We had a medium walnut floor in the first showroom.
I think that,
and it just feels authentic, and I don't think it'll ever go out of style. So more medium tone.
Somebody just reached out. I DM'd me and asked me, like, we have to make a decision today about the floors of our house. And white oak is a trend, or is it not? Should I do it? Should I not? And I was like, yeah, no. She goes, I feel like maybe should I start to go medium because maybe dark is coming? And I was like, you're always safe with walnut. Always, always. The tone's perfect. The grain's gorgeous. It's always a prestigious wood. When we think back about walnut through the ages, you're never going to regret it. Yeah. Or you could take an oak and stain it more walnut tone if that's going to be a more affordable price. But yeah, I would definitely say if you're building right now, I probably would lean away from white oak as your floor, and I'd lean away from farmhouse also. Yeah.
And I think even if like even the white oaks that we have done, we always try and we want some warmth in it. We don't want it to be gray tone. Gray's been out for a while. Y'all don't use it. But just like look for that like old school warmth for that, I don't know, that underfoot experience. I love, like even in the showroom, it's a warmer tone. You put it on the angle and it's so fresh, but it feels historic too. Yeah. So I think doing something that's more medium tone will be your most classic.
Definitely.
And I think just like with your actual furniture, depending on what your floor is, I think that you kind of play off of that. So you are going to have some like probably darker moments, but then like I think burl wood's obviously like such a killer finish, but then you're going to want some, if you have like a lot of wood floor and there's not like a rug or anything, you're going to probably want something that's painted or, cerused.
Not a bunch of
cerused white. So not everything's wood, because then nothing's wood. It kind of starts to feel a little bit too craftsman's for me.
Oh, yeah.
It feels heavy and dusty.
So. Yes, heavy and dusty is right. Oh, man.
Sneeze.
Definitely. Anyway. Well, thanks for listening, you guys, to our spring refresh. I hope there was something in here for everybody, and hopefully this gives you the bug to want to get rid of it or wipe it down or refresh it or see it in a new way.
Some fresh clippers for your car.
Oh, yes.
Ready to go, guys.
Exactly. Thanks so much for listening. We'll catch you next time. Hey, thanks for listening. If you like our show, please leave a 5-star rating.